All right, guys, welcome to another episode of our training. We are going to be looking at item number 8, drawing a simple house plan. So we are going to be doing a very simple house plan quickly. Item number 8. If you've been following me, I believe you've gone through item number 1 up to 7. So now we are going to be trying out all the things we've learned. All right, so let's quickly go through one or two things. Now, this is a simple house plan. I just did this a few minutes ago. So I want us to reproduce this the same way it is, just the way you're seeing it. We're going to reproduce this. All right, so first thing first is you come to your layer, open your layer property. You can see I've created multiple layers. One is dash line. You could see my dash line. I have a layer for the dash line. I have I'm not really using this. Then I have dimension, blue color. You could see the color, the line thickness. Okay, so you could see my dimension. When I click, you could see it showing up here, dimension layer. I'll go again, you could see text. Okay, text. So all my texts are under the text layer. So if I click here, you see the text layer is active. Okay, all right. So let's check again. What else? Walls. You could see the walls and the thickness of the wall. You could see and the color. So all my walls, I have a layer for them. So if I click, you could see wall. You could see the thickness is by layer. Then again, we go further to window. So you could see my window layer and the color. So if I come here and click on my window, you could see window layer is active. Just like I used to tell us, it's important to group your thing in layers, because as it is, if I decide to say I don't want to see the dimensions again, I can just come here and shut down the layer for dimensions and everything is gone. I could see my drawing clearly. I can also bring that back. So if I don't want to see maybe the text, I could just quickly go here, shut down text. Yeah, and you see all the text are gone. So you can do this for as many layers as you have in your drawings. Even the window layers, I can also shut them down by just turning the layer off. Okay, all the windows are gone. Okay, so that's how it is. So we are going to quickly do this, a very quick one. We are going to do this very quickly. So like I said before, if you've been following me from the previous classes, the first thing you need to do is to set your drawing units. You go to format, units. I have already set my unit to millimeters, clockwise, so you can also maintain what we have here, okay? Then my limit has already been set, just like we've done in the previous classes. So we are going to quickly do this. So, but before we do this, I want to first teach you, okay, I think we've done this before, how to format your dimension style, because I have already formatted this. So what did I do? I come to format, dimension style. I click on new, okay, new, and that is how I was able to, this is copy of Basil because the default one is Basil, okay? So once you click on new, it will open, let's just do it. Let's say copy of Basil, continue. Now you set your thickness, first let's start with the line, okay? The line color should be by layer, or you can decide to choose your color. The line type you can decide to choose. Symbol and arrow, you could see I'm using architectural tick, and my line arrow size is 100. Okay, text is 175. Okay, and this is the text color. Don't forget, I can change this text color to whatever I want to. So text color is by layer. I can decide to change and give it a different color. Okay, then once you've changed this, you can now come to, you can also change the font style. You come here, change to whatever font you want. Okay, but I would suggest you use the same font I'm using. So you just go through that quickly. Then you come to primary unit, set precision to 0, this 2 to 0. Then okay, all right, that is all. Then when you finish, you click on that layer and set it current. So you make it the current layer for your drawing. All right, so I haven't done that. That's a good one. So we can start. So the first thing is my dimension from here to here is 12,000 millimeters. Don't forget my unit is millimeters. Then this way is 10,725. All right. So I will quickly activate the wall layer, which is the first thing to do. The wall layer is active. And don't forget, if I turn off show line weight, everything disappears. So I need to always activate so I can differentiate different part of the layers, graphically. All right, so the next thing we're going to be doing now is I want to create this line and this line. So I pick up my polyline tool. You can decide to use the normal line tool if you want to. So I click on the first point. Don't forget, you have to activate your auto mode. Okay, orthographic mode activated. And going towards x-axis, we have 12,000. Don't forget, enter. Then coming towards y, we have 10,725. Okay, so you change the direction towards y below. 10,725. Enter. All right. You do the same thing, 12,000. Enter. Then you can just type C for close, and that will be all. All right. So we've succeeded in creating the first line outside, the external line. We've been able to do that. So the next thing we need the second line, which I defines the thickness of the wall. So the first thing is you go back to your offset. Don't forget we've talked about this in our previous classes. You can always go take your mouse close to it. Just put your mouse on the item on the item. Then you have a very simple brief description of what that item is all about. So I click on this and I type 150. Oh no, 225. 225. That's 225 millimeters. That's like a 9 inches. Enter. I click here and I click inside. So my wall thickness has been done. So you could see the wall thickness just the way it is here. Okay, that's the same thing I have here. But don't forget, because I use polyline, all the lines are together. Each of the lines are together. Polyline doesn't break lines. So, but the most important thing to do once you're done with this is highlight it, press X on your keyboard to explode it, then enter. So all of them are now independent. Okay, it makes your job easier. All right, so whenever you're having issues, maybe you're trying to zoom, you can't zoom perfectly, just type Z, enter, enter, everything will come to your screen. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is I want to define the living room, and the dimension is 5,100. Okay, so I will come to my offset, 5,100, enter. I click, then move inside because I want to define it inside. Again, I press enter to escape the command. If I press shift again or enter, it brings me back to the previous command. Then I type the thickness of the wall, which is 225, enter. Okay, then you have that. So I've been able to define the living area, but there are still more jobs to do. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is I need to define the terrace. Okay, so let me quickly check the dimension into in. That's 1 2. That's 1 2. Let me just match this layer here. Okay, so that's 1 2. All right, so I want to define that very quickly. So I go back to offset 1200, enter. I click to define. I press shift again, shift 2 times, 225 for the wall thickness. Okay, so I haven't done this. I want to trim. So you click on your trim tool, bam, and you click right click or you press enter or shift on your keyboard. Then just click over this to take that off. Click here, click here just to take that off. So let's leave it at this point first. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be doing is okay, the other end of the living room is 5025, so I want to do that. I go back to offset 5025, enter, click here to define, press shift again, 225 to define the wall thickness, click. Okay, so I've been able to do that. Okay, I've been able to define this. There is still more things to do, so I will pick back my trim tool so I don't get confused. So I'll take this off. Now, if don't forget, if I try to take this off, it's going to be impossible, okay? Because the line does not have any extension. So for me to achieve this, just press your shift since you're already activating the trim tool. When the trim tool is active and you press shift, it switches the command to extension tool. So if I press shift and click on this, it will extend, any object I'm clicking to meet the nearest object. I can now trim this off, okay? All right, so the kitchen, the living room, sorry, has been identified perfectly. So the next thing to do is, okay, I'm going to define, uh, I'm going to define the kitchen. I want to define the kitchen now, okay? I'm going to define the kitchen. So the kitchen, I go back to offset, then the kitchen from here to here, is for 100. So for 100, enter. Then I come here for 100 to this point, okay? Then I define the thickness of the wall 225, enter. All right, so that's a perfect thing to do. Then for you not to get confused so quickly, take your trim tool, trim whatever you don't need, trim them off so it doesn't get you confused. Don't forget, I have an easier way to do this, but for beginners, this is the best step to follow. I make sure I pass through all the longest step, all the stress, so you can get it into your head. So when you start learning the simple way to doing things, it will make it more easier for you. All right. All right. So I've been able to define the kitchen area, just like we have in the other drawing, just like we have. So that is 4-1. So the whole of this area has been defined. The next thing is the dining. The dining from where the kitchen ends is 3,000 to the other point. So I go back, pick my offset to 3,000, enter. I click to define. Then again, 225 for the thickness of the wall. That has been done. So that's very unique, okay? So now the next thing is if you look at this wall flows straight to the end. Okay, it flows straight to the end. So I may not need to actually offset for the room because this line is the same line for the room. Okay, so I can quickly do a simple thing. Just pick the extension tool, right click, extend this. I want to extend it to the end. Extend the second line to, to define my room. So that makes it easy for me. Okay. So if you check, it's the same thing. The wall flows all the way through. Okay. All right. So I haven't done that. The next thing to do is I don't want to confuse you, so I want to take it step by step. Okay. The next one I'm going to do now is I'm going to define toilets, the WC. I'm going to define them. So from where the bedroom ends, you're having 1,200. So I pick my offset to on 200, enter, I click to define. The next thing is the thickness of the wall. I click to define. The next thing is the next toilet, on 200, enter. The next thing again is the thickness of the wall. All right, okay, so we've done that. Then let's check what's the dimension from here. Okay, the dimension this way is 25. I pick again to 500, enter, click, define the thickness of the wall. Good. So this is beautiful. So at this point, there is a whole lot of confusion. You can decide to click one of these, trim, or you can decide to trim them. You can decide to just click on them, pick the vector at this point, and just take it straight to where you want it to end. So there is always a multiple way of doing it. And don't forget, while you're doing this, you snap, object snap must be on, okay? So you can easily snap. So if you don't want to trim, this is another way to do it. Okay. So same thing with this guy. You come back, just stay here, you stay here. Okay. All right. So that's perfect. Same thing happens here. So I will just use trim for this side. I'll trim this out. I'll trim this out. Now let's check it out again. The end of the second WC is the other end of the second bedroom. So I can just do a simple thing. Take the extension tool, right click, and just extend this forward. Okay. So this makes it really cool. Makes it easy and cool. Now this wall, I need to join this wall first before I will now create the opening so you don't get confused. So let me just extend this and close for now. All right, so I haven't done this. Let me trim this out so we don't get confused. Okay, no, let me extend first. Let me take this to the end because they flow together. Extension, right click. Oh yeah, good, beautiful. So I've succeeded in almost bringing out everything. You could see the staircase is automatically out because it's the same wall. Okay, so I haven't done this. You are not done with your drawings. Okay, this very wall is not supposed to go on to this point. So I picked my extension tool first so I could extend this. Right click, extend. Oh, sorry. Let's do that again. Extension, right click. Good. Then I don't need this, so you trim, you trim, you trim. Press down your shift key and you trim. Okay. So we are getting there. We are almost there. Okay. We are almost there. Just few minutes. We will almost be there. So what we've done a key thing, in this design. We are almost done. So the next thing I want you to do quickly is let's do the trimming. Okay. Let's start trimming our walls so it shows continuity, because the moment you leave a wall like this, it means this is a different material from this. Okay, so it's always important to define it properly. So let's just define it first. There are some places we will still close back, but let's just do this first for clarity's sake. Okay, so just follow me, follow me, follow me, follow the process. It might be a long process. You might come back to repeat some of the things, but just follow me because I have my reasons for taking you through this other method. Okay, so I think I'm almost done. All right, so I have almost joined everything together. But okay, I still have issues here. Trim, yeah, here, and this. All right, so this is beautiful. This is excellent. Excellent, I mean. All right, so we've succeeded in getting the all the room configurations. So let me just take this close to second guy. All right. Okay, so you see, we've got the bedroom here, we've got the dining here, we've got the kitchen here, we've got the living room here, we've got the staircase here, the terrace, we have them here, the bedroom, all of that. So we still have a lot of work to do. Now, what are we going to do next? If we check in this drawing, you see that this is an opening and it's a different material. Okay, this is an opening, it's just an arc. You can decide to construct an arc. In your own case, you can decide to leave it a straight beam. So I want to first create this. So how do I do this? Now I will first pick up my extension tool, right click, so I can extend this to show that okay, this guy passes, then this one is on its own. Now if you check on this line is going all the way through till the end, which doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense. So what I want it to end at this point. So I now quickly pick another command, break at point. I click on the very object I want to break, then click on the point I want to break it. So this guy is on his own now. This guy is on his own now. So we've defined the first guy. We're going to do same thing to this guy. So first, I'm going to use my extension to close this up, close this up. Now you are not supposed to be this material, and if you check what is happening, this goes all the way through. So I can just come here, take this to this point. Let me not give myself too much work. Okay, and I can also come here, pick this to this point. Okay, so I can define this has been defined already. So but I actually don't need this because I'm going to be putting a sliding glass door here, so I can just delete this, select it, delete. So let that place be empty. Okay, later we'll know what to do there. So here now, here I want to apply a dash line. Okay, and that is not the only place I want to apply dash line. Even the entrance, this is a dash line. But before I do that, don't forget we're not done with the kitchen area. We have to create this quickly. Okay, let's do this quickly. The next thing we're gonna do now is we are gonna cut out the store. Okay, the store. Let's check the width of the store. The width of the store is 1 2. Okay, let me merge this property. Okay, 1 2. So I'll quickly come here, pick my offset tool on 200, enter. From this point, I click to define, press shift again, 225 to define the thickness. Then that is done. Then the length is 1.5, so I picked it again, 1.500, enter. From this point, I click to define. The next thing is the thickness, 225, click to define. So once that is done, pick your trim tool immediately, trim what you don't need, and leave the ones you need. So I will just trim it this way first for now. Let me leave it this way. All right, so we've done that. The next thing is we have a small veranda here. Let me just quickly name this. Let me quickly name that. Okay, so we have this. So I'm going to define this 800 mm, 800 mm. So I quickly pick again, 800, enter. I click to define. The next thing is the thickness of the wall. I click again to define. Now I made a little mistake. Now this is the mistake. The thickness of this wall, of the kitchen wall, is 150, not 225. Okay, not 225. So what I'm going to do is I will just do a quick one. I will just take this wall off. Okay, then take 150. Okay, all right. If you check, they are no longer together. So it's simple. Two things you can do. You can pick chamfer tool. You click the first object, click the second, and it's okay. You do again, click the first, click the second, and that's all. All right, for this one, we need to extend. So you pick your extension tool, right click, and that's all. So we've done that, and that's beautiful. Same thing again here. I don't need this wall to be 225. I need it to be 150. So I take it off, offset 150, enter. Good. So you see, we have the same problem. So I pick back my chamfer, click the first, click the second, and that's all. All right, so we have perfectly done this. Let's trim at this point, you trim at this point. And now I need to also define this place. This one, it's a continuous line. I don't need it. But first I need to do an extension from here and here. Then I have to break this point. So I come here, pick break at point, click the object I want to break, click the point I want to break it. So it's broken here. But that's not all because it still goes all the way to this end. So I pick again, click the object, click what I want to break. And that's it. So this guy is on its own, this guy is on its own. Okay. All right. So we are going to pause here for this time. Then in our next class, we are going to see how we can introduce doors, windows, the broken lines, and possibly the text. Okay. In fact, in our next class, we're going to do a complete drawing just like it is now. All right. So thank you. See you in the next class.